Today's video is manifesting on a time crunch, manifesting where there's a deadline or something that is going to happen on a certain date in time, and you want to manifest something, a situation to be a certain way or something to happen within that time. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story now, something that happened to me about 3 years ago. We were due to go on holiday to Rhodes, and we were going on holiday to Rhodes. We still went on that holiday, but there was a court case due, and unfortunately the date of that court case turned out to be the day that we came back. So we're coming back on the Sunday, and the court case was due to be on the Monday. And it couldn't have been a worse time, because even though I wasn't worried about the outcome of it, I just didn't want the hassle of thinking about it on that holiday. It was kind of takes the edge off the holiday, doesn't it? The fun out of it, if you've got that hanging over your head. And so I didn't think, I don't want the court case, I don't want the court case. I thought it would be, the best thing to happen would be that it gets postponed, that it's a different time, that for some reason, because in my head I couldn't really get my head around the fact that it just would be cancelled, because that would be huge. But I thought if it could be postponed so that we're at least back a couple of weeks, that would be amazing. And that's what I wanted. And I was sat on the edge of the pool, and I really got this overwhelming feeling that I wanted it to be postponed. Now, in the back of my mind, I was still thinking, I don't think this will happen because it's so close now. So this was about the Monday when we were on holiday, and the court case was due the following Monday. So I had a ton of doubt, an absolute ton of doubt. And then the thought of it being postponed, I kind of then got a little bit anxious about that, and I thought, oh, it's not going to happen. We are going to have to do this. And then I thought, no, come on, let's have a go at this. Let's just have a go. So I thought, no, I would love for this to be postponed. I really got the feeling of hearing that it had been postponed. And then I thought to myself, I have to be okay with this happening. I just have to be okay with this happening, because if I get hung up on this, it's not going to happen. So what's okay about this? So I went through a list of reasons that it wasn't so bad. One was I knew we were going to win because it was an appeal and from somebody else, and I just knew that we were going to win, so I wasn't worried about not winning. Two, I thought, well, it'll get it out of the way, we'll come back, okay, it's a pain in the arse, but it'll be done then. And I found a few reasons that it wasn't the end of the world if it happened, but I would just love for it to be postponed. And I really got that overwhelming feeling of relief when I had decided that it wouldn't be the end of the world if it happened. So that was where I got the huge relief. That's where I got the huge momentum, to be honest. And then I completely put it out of my mind, and I thought, there's nothing else I can do now. I'm just going to assume it's going to happen, but if it gets postponed, amazing. But I'm assuming that it's happening. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm just not kidding you. This is the weirdest thing. This is probably one of the most bizarre manifestations I've ever had. It was either the next day or two. I don't think it was the next day, because it was right at the beginning of the holiday, because we had the whole holiday relaxed after that. We had a phone call from the guys at the office, the guys that worked for us, saying that they had had a phone call to say that the court case was going to be postponed for at least 3 months because there had been a flood at the court in Bristol. What the hell? A flood. It was the height of summer. It was really hot in the southwest. So I don't know, it must have been burst pipes or whatever. So it was postponed. And my husband, because I told him that I had done this, and he didn't have any belief in this whatsoever back then, and he just looked at me and he said, oh my God, you are a witch. Like, he said, that is crazy. And then we could completely relax and enjoy the rest of the holiday. And I thought about that after, and bear in mind this was a few years ago, so I wasn't quite as good as this stuff then as I am now. And I thought to myself, it was the release of it. It was that, okay, if this happens, I can deal with it. It's not the end of the world. It's not great, but it's not, I can deal with it, and I will find a way to deal with that, and I did. So you need to find reasons that thing is okay if it happens. If you're trying to stop something from happening, or if you want something to happen, you have to find a reason that it's okay if it doesn't happen. And that is actually key here, and that is what people find really hard to get their heads around. When people contact me via my website and ask me this, they want to manifest something at a particular time, I have to tell them that, because I have to be truthful, and they don't always want to hear that. Some people are like, oh right, okay, and they'll work with that, but some people, they don't want to hear that, because that isn't so easy, is it, to do that? But it's a practice, and actually think about where you would be in normal life if you didn't believe in this. You just have to accept it, wouldn't you? But you'd be at a disadvantage because you wouldn't know that you could wish for something else. So this way we know that we can, and we have the possibility of changing something. We just have to find the way to do it, and that is the way to do it. You can manifest on a time crunch, for sure you can. I've done other little things on time crunches without being worried about it at all, but this was a huge issue. It really was. It wasn't going to ruin my holiday, as I wasn't going to let it do that, but it would have been in the back of my mind, and then it wasn't. So it was gone completely. And I'll just tell you, eventually we did have that court case and we did win. So it was all great. And I knew that we would, but you know, you've still got it hanging over you, haven't you? But we enjoyed our holiday. That was key. So guys, what I suggest to you here is that you get on board with this fully, and yes, it's magic, yes, it's wonderful, but there is a knack to it, and it's all about release. Everything is about release. So manifesting on a time crunch is about releasing the desire for that thing, which I know is so it seems so counterintuitive and it's really difficult to get your head around, but I can guarantee you that's how it works, and it just doesn't work in any other way. It really doesn't. So the best way to accept the not so desirable is to work out something in your head of why it's not the end of the world, and you can cope with it, you can work with it if it happens. And then you, even if you think that the worst is going to happen then, which I did, I thought, oh, it's going to happen, the court case is going to happen, it probably is, this manifestation is probably not going to happen, and it still happened. And look how crazy, it was the craziest one. Of all of the things I've manifested, I call that the craziest one, and nobody could believe it. And the guys at the office were like, what the hell? You know, how on earth? And everybody at the office, you know, knew that I was into this. Obviously not quite so much then, but knew that it was a thing for me. And it was crazy because I didn't give myself a list of things that could happen in order for the court case to be postponed. I didn't do anything like that. All I really had to do was just release and say it's okay if it happens. It's a bummer, but you know, I'll deal with it, I'll live with it. So that's how you manifest on a time crunch. And I get that it's probably not what you want to hear, but you know, have to be honest here. And if I say, oh yeah, you know, you can manifest anything you want at any point in time, which you can, and then don't give you the reason that works, then you're not going to do it, and you're going to think this doesn't work for you. It works for other people, but it doesn't work for you. But it works for everyone. And then when you find that reason that it's okay if it doesn't happen, or you know, you can live with it, you have to mean it, because you can't trick anything. You can't trick whatever this greater power is. You have to actually mean it. So you have to find a way within yourself to mean it. Okay, that's today's video, time crunch manifestation. I really hope it was useful, and it's the only way that this works. It really is. If you're wanting something and then you're really attached to that outcome having to be that way, it won't be that way. And I just have to be honest here, it won't. It won't. You have to find a way to be okay with the fact that it may not happen, or it may happen if it's something that you want to stop. Have to find a way to do that in order for it to work. And then you have to accept that, and accept that it might not happen. Truly believe that it might not happen. I know it sounds so contradictory, but it's true. And if I do want to manifest in a time crunch, and I have done since, then I've had to use that technique. Absolutely had to. It's the only way that it works. Okay, so if you haven't heard anything about me, haven't heard about my books or my coaching or anything like that, just pop onto my website and take a look at the coaching section, and there's a section, Evie's books, so take a look at that. And I write Law of Attraction books basically. And yeah, anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I would absolutely love it if you fancy subscribing to this channel. But if not, I just hope that you got something from this video that can help you move forward with this.